Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Today in this tutorial, I'll be showing you step by step how to make a beaded / candy dream catcher like this one, and also a perler with some bead dream catcher like this one. You truly have endless opportunities with these designs, as for example, this one I did a peace sign, a heart, yin and yang, and a smiley face, but you could do anything that you can make in a POD stitch on the ends here. Then for this one, I did a wolf and some feathers, but again, you can do anything that you have a perler pattern for on these and as the center. I really hope you enjoy this tutorial, and if you do, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, turn on the little bell notification so you always get a notification when I upload. I upload every second day a new DIY. Also, feel free to follow me on my social medias. On my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook page, they're all Mariah's DIY World. Now let's just hop right into this tutorial. Alrighty, first things first when making a beaded dream catcher is we're going to look at the center of it because we start in the center. And the center of this is a beaded star. And to start a beaded star, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a piece of our plastic stretch cord, like I have right here, and we are going to pick what color we want the center. I'm going to be making the center of mine with pink beads. And so to begin, we're going to want to add 10 pink beads onto our string. And once we have those 10 beads on our string, we're going to put them all the way down to one end, and we're going to simply tie it in a knot, like this. You're going to tie it once, tie it twice, and tie it a third time. And then it will look like this. And all you're going to want to do is punch the beads in and out to make it kind of form the shape of a little star, like this. Then you're going to cut off the little piece of the string, like that. Now, if we look at our little star, this is the inner part of the star. As we can see, we just need to add the points now. And to add the points, we're going to take our string, and we're going to want to make sure it's coming out of one of the pointier beads. So since it's coming out of this bead, we're going to simply place our string through this point bead, like that. And now our string is coming out of this point bead. The points on the stars are made of 3 beads. So you're going to add 3 beads onto your string. Let them drop down. Since our string is coming out of this point bead, we're going to skip this bead and put it through the next one. Like that. Going to pull it all the way through. And then it will look like this, which is 1 point on your star. And these stars have 5 points, so we're going to do that 5 times. To show you again, I'm going to take your string, you're going to add 3 beads onto your string, let them slide all the way down. Since it's coming out of this bead, we're going to skip one and put it through the next. Will look like this. We'll pull it all the way down, and then it will look like this. You're going to continue to do that 3 more times, and I will see you when we get back to this end. Now, once you are done adding on the 3 more points, your star should be looking like this. It should look like a finished star. So what I like to do now is I like to tie off this part of the star, just so it doesn't get loose while you're making the rest of the dream catcher. And how I do that is I take my string and I put it through this point. My string's coming out of this bead. I'm just going to put it through this hole here, like so. And then I bring my string up between these 2 beads here, like that, pull it down. So then you have a loop and a long piece of string, and you're just going to tie those 2 together in 1 knot, in 2 knots. And I usually only tie on 2 knots here. And then what you're going to want to do is, if you just wanted to make a star, you could leave it like this, and you could actually leave the loop on to hang it on things if you chose to. I, one year, decorated my Christmas tree with little candy stars, and I just hung them all around, which was really cute, I think. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to cut off the loop. Now, what you're going to do is our next row of our dream catcher starts coming out of one of these point beads. So we want to bring our string to one of these point beads. Since your string is coming out of this bead here, we're going to weave it up through this bead and this point bead. So take your string, weave it up through both of these beads, pull it through, and now your string is coming out of this point bead. If we look at our dream catcher, we can see that the next row is the yellow and orange row, which consist of 5 beads per point. And how we do that is we're going to add 5 beads onto our string. 5, and you can do a little pattern if you want, like I'm doing green and pink on here. And what you're going to want to do is, since it's coming out of this point bead here, we're going to skip these 3 beads and put it through this point bead over here. And then it will look like that. And you're going to do that all the way around. And to show you one more time, we take our string, we're going to add on 5 beads. And since our string is coming out of this point bead, we're going to go over to the next point bead, skipping these beads. Pull it nice and tight. And sometimes they'll go like this, and that's okay. You just pull them back out. And now it should look like this. So you're going to continue to do that until you come around to this end again, which again will be 3 new parts. And I'll see you when you get to the end. Once you're done that row, your dream catcher should be looking like this. And for those of you wondering, I use a plastic stretch cord, which is clear, at a 0.7 thickness, or I also use it at a 1.0 thickness, whatever you're more comfortable with using. The thicker one I might use for bigger projects, but lately I've been using this 0.7 for everything, and it's been holding up really nice. Once we're done this part of the dream catcher, once again, like we did on the last row, you're going to want to make sure your string is coming out of a new point bead. And right now ours is coming out of an old point bead. So we're going to weave our string up through this bead, and the new point bead that's pink. You can feel free to tie off this row like you tied off the last one if you're worried about it coming loose. But if you continue to pull it nice and tight all the way through, it should be fine. Now our string is coming out of this pink point bead. So we are going to look at our dream catcher and see that our next row is the white and black row. And this row consists of 7 beads. So now we're going to add 7 beads onto our string. Like so, you're going to let them slide down. And then since our string is coming out of this pink bead, we're going to skip these 5 beads and put it through this pink bead. And don't forget, we're just going from point bead to point bead. And then it will look something like this. And you're going to continue to do that all the way around, just like we have been doing. So you're going to do it a total of 4 more times. And I'll see you when you get to this end. Now, at the end of this row, our dream catcher should be looking like this. And what we do, like we did on the other 2 rows, is since our string is coming out of an old point bead, we want to weave it up to a new point bead. So we're going to put it through these 3 green beads and this pink bead. And then it should look like this. And as we can see, I'm running fairly short on string. So I'm going to show you guys how to tie on more string. It is really quite simple once you get the hang of it. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the end of the string that we've been using, and we're going to grab a new piece of plastic stretch cord. We're going to tie them in a knot together. 1 knot, we're going to tie them in a double knot together. Pull it nice and tight, and then we're going to tie them in a triple knot together. And you're going to pull it nice and tight, and then it will look like this. You'll have 2 strings tied together. And you're going to take the 2 little ears hanging off of them. You're going to grab your scissors. You're just going to cut off the extra, just like that. And now you have tied on more string. Now, to continue our dream catcher, we're going to look at this one, and we're going to see that we are on the pink and red row, which has 9 beads in total. Just like we've been doing, you're going to add those 9 beads onto your string, and then since it's coming out of this one, you're going to skip all of this and put it through the new point bead. And then once you're done that, I will see you at the end. Now, once you're done this row, it should be looking like this. And just like we have been doing, we're going to take our string. Since our string's coming out of our old point bead, we're going to want to put it through these beads to get it to our new point bead. So we're going to weave it up through these 4 green and this 1 pink. You guys can also make the star in the middle different colors. You don't have to make it a solid color. I just did so it would be easy for you guys to see. Like that. And now it's coming out of our new point bead. And if you wanted to make a little bit of a minier dream catcher, you could totally stop here. But I'm going to make 1 more row. And on this last row, when we look at this, it is the purple and blue row, which is 11 beads. And you're just going to do what we have been doing here, but instead of adding 9 beads, this time we're going to add 11. And I will see you when you're done. Now, once you are done the row with 11 beads, your dream catcher should be looking like this. The next step we're going to do is, since this is our last row, we are going to tie off our string. And how I like to do that is, since it's coming out of this bead right here, I'm going to put it through this grain bead that we added on our last row. Take your string, put it through like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my string and put it under this piece of string that holds these grain beads together. Like that. And then, like before, we have a loop and a string. You're going to want to make sure you pull this nice and tight, and you're going to just tie them together. Once, twice, 3 times, like that, and then it will look like that. Now, I'm going to take my scissors and cut off the extra. And this is the top part of your dream catcher. Now, if we look at the dream catcher we're basing it off of, the next part is to add on the things that hang down. And so how we do that is I just picked 4 spots that I thought looked good for them to hang from, but you can pick wherever. You don't have to do 4, you could do 3, you could do 2, you could just put 1 if you want. But for this one, I will be showing you how to do it with 3. So what we're going to want to do is you're going to grab another piece of your plastic stretch cord, and now you're going to want to pick where your first one is going to hang from. And since I am doing 3, my first one's going to hang from this center one right here. So you take your piece of plastic stretch cord, and you're going to put it through this pink bead right here. Just like so. And you're going to push your string down so it looks something like this. And now what we do is you're going to add on your beads, and you're going to put it through both of the strings. So take however many beads long you're going to do it. You're going to want to make sure both your strings are going through each of the beads. Like this. Let them slide down, and it will look like that. And you're going to do that until you get to the length that you want. Then it will look like this. And for mine, I added 12 beads. And for these, how I like to do them is I like to make the middle ones longer and the side ones shorter so it hangs nicely. So this one will be 12 beads. And the other 2 I'm going to be doing, I'll probably do around 6 to 8 beads. And for right now, I just leave this untied because I'm going to use this to add on whatever you're putting on the ends of them. Then you're just going to do this 2 more times wherever you want them coming out of. Once you're done, it will look something like this. I did decide to place mine 5 beads away from where I placed this one on each side. And now you're just going to pick what you want to put on the ends of them. So for example, on this one, I did a bunch of different little cute peyote stitch signs. But in this tutorial, I am just going to hang 3 pink stars off of it. And to show you again how to make a candy star, you're just going to grab a piece of your plastic stretch cord. You're going to add 10 beads onto your string. Put all the beads down to one side of your string. Tie it in a knot. Tie it in a double knot. And tie it in a triple knot. Then you're going to cut off the littler piece of the string. And then you're going to push out the ones to make its little star shape. And then it should look like this. And you're going to want to make your string come out of a point bead. So since it's coming out of this bead, we're going to put it up through this bead. Like so. Then we're going to add on 3 beads to our string. Let them slide down. Since it's coming out of this point bead, skip a bead, put it through the next. Just like that. And you're going to do that all the way around till you get to the end. Then it will look like this, and just like how we did the middle, we're just going to tie it off. So you take your string, I put it through this point bead, through the middle, like through the middle of the triangle, like that. I bring it over, so it's going under the string that holds this bead and this bead, like that. And you're going to have a loop in a piece of string, and you're just going to tie them together in 3 knots. 1, 2, and then a third one. Like so, and we're going to cut off the extra. And then you are going to do this 2 more times to make the 2 additional stars. Alrighty, once you have your 3 stars completed, they should look like this. And how we tie them on is, since we left these strings coming out of here that have 2 ends, we're going to simply put one of the strings through one of the point beads on the star. Just like this. And then you're just going to tie these 2 coming off of here together. In 1 knot, 2 knots, and a third knot. And you're just going to cut off these extra. You can just kind of move it so it's right on the edge. It will look like that. And you're going to do that to the 2 other ones as well. Once you're done adding them, it should look like this. And then you have a completed dream catcher. And how I like to hang them is I put a tack or a nail in the wall, and I just hang it off of this point right here. It sits against the wall like that, and it looks really, really good. Another way to make a dream catcher is you can also do a perler one, which looks like this guy. And how we do this is you would just take a perler pattern. I do one that's roughly in the shape of a circle. And the only bead parts that we add is you'll add a little thing to hold it onto the wall at the top, like this. And then you'll add beads to hang whatever you'd like on the bottom, but then it will look like this. And there you go. You've learned how to make your very own beaded/candy dream catcher or perler one. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I love you all and appreciate you all. Bye!